general, higher the ratio, better. But higher ratio can be derived by a higher sales, which means it's good. Or if you have too low inventory relative to your sales, it can be also give you a high number. So it means that maybe your firm is not that efficient, so you have to take more inventory to inflate your sales. Okay. So ensuring your company has a sufficient inventory to support your strong sales is a better one to have than needing to scale down inventory because business is lagging. The speed with which a company can turn over inventory is a critical measure of business performance. Okay, retailers or firms that turn inventory into sales faster. Okay, faster means a lower period. Okay, lower a period of days or faster the speed of inventory turnover processing period means that the company, the firm, can turn over inventory faster than the others. The longer period, if the number is long, it means that your inventory remains in stock longer than the others. So your inventory remains at your factory longer than the others, so meaning that you are not selling fast or you're not making sales faster than the others. For example, a fashion industries are very sensitive to this inventory turnover ratios. Okay, such as H&M or Zara. These fashion companies, they are competitors and they typically limit runs and replace inventory quickly with new items, new clothes. Slow selling items equate to higher holding cost. Okay, if you hold too much inventory at your factory, it means that you're having too much holding cost. And there is also the opportunity cost of low inventory turnover. If the item that takes a long time to sell delays the stocking of new merchandise that might prove more popular. Okay, so a decline in the inventory turnover ratio, if the number declines, it means that there are a reduced demand, leading business to reduce outputs. So to sum up, overall, inventory turnover indicates that how much product did you sell, referred by the cost of goods sold relative to your average inventory level. So if the ratio is low, it indicates that your sales operations are being low or you're holding too much inventories. Okay, but in general, higher the ratio refers higher efficiency. Okay, higher the ratio, higher the better. Okay, so if the ratio is high, higher the ratio means you are making higher sales, or either you have lower inventory levels. In this case, if you restock some inventories, you can make more greater sales. So the overall higher numbers indicate you're doing good. Okay, a total asset turnover ratio indicates the effectiveness of a firm's use of its total asset base. Okay, net sales is just the total sales. And the total asset turnover means that how much sales did you make using your assets. So greater the ratio, the better. Okay, so how much did you generate cash, generate sales using your assets? The higher the ratio, the higher the operating efficiency. So lower the ratio indicate that firms are not using its assets efficiently. Okay, if the total asset turnover ratio is low, it means that your sales are low or you have more assets. Okay, so the lower ratio indicate that firms are not using its assets efficiently to make your sales, or you are holding too much assets relative to your business situation. Okay, the fixed asset turnover ratio. The fixed asset turnover ratio in general is used to measure your operating performance. Okay, this efficiency ratio compares net sales to fixed asset. And measure a company's ability to generate net sales from its fixed asset investment. Okay, fixed assets are in general a property, plant, a factory, and equipment, which we call a PP&E in accounting balance. So higher fixed asset turnover ratio indicates that a company has effectively used investment in fixed assets to generate sales. So you're running your business very efficiently. Okay, a higher turnover ratio is also indicative of greater efficiency in managing fixed assets. But there is not an exact number or range that indicates whether a company has been efficient at generating revenue from such investment. So in general, there is no answer, but higher the numbers, higher efficiency. So but let's say the ratio is 2. By looking at this number, which is 2, it doesn't tell you it is efficient or it is not efficient. Of course, higher numbers indicate that there are higher efficiency, but there is no reference point. So is number of 2 is good, or is the turnover ratio of 3 is efficient? We don't know, but typically higher numbers are better. So therefore, it is very important to compare these ratios with your peers or your own past average. Okay, so it is important to compare a company's most recent ratio to both its own historical ratios and the ratio values from peer companies, or the average ratio for the industry or the aggregate economy. Okay, using this fixed asset turnover ratio, this ratio is very important in certain industry. So you may have to determine whether the company you're studying is in the appropriate sector or industry for the ratio to be calculated before attaching much weight to it. Okay, so fixed assets vary drastically from one company type to the next. Okay, these numbers vary depending on its industry. Okay, for instance, consider the difference between internet internet company versus manufacturing.